Hello everyone, welcome to another video on the channel. Welcome to a video where, at least for the duration of this video anyway, we are going to forget about the many problems that Gran Turismo 7 currently has in its current guise. I've spoken about it many times on livestream. I've put plenty of videos out there highlighting some of the things I think are wrong with the game, particularly with Daily Race C, and as have many other creators out there. So yeah, I thought let's try and be a little bit more positive about the game, and here's a video where I'm going to tell you about 5 little features of Gran Turismo 7 that I absolutely love. These are 5 features that weren't within GT Sport, which I think have added some immense value to the game, certainly from my point of view. So without further ado, let's move on to feature number 1 that I absolutely love, and that is the fact that tyre wear and fuel depletion have been turned on for Daily Race A and B. Now the reason that I love this and why I think it's a very good feature is it very much differentiates time trial qualifying from the race conditions. So in the past, in GT Sport, the race conditions were basically identical to the time trial conditions. That basically meant whoever qualified on pole was automatically just going to be the fastest driver, because it was just about replicating what you did in qualifying. Now with tyre wear on and fuel depletion on, the car feels a little bit different in race trim compared to qualifying trim. It could mean, for example, once we've got tyre wear on, that means that tyre temperatures come into play. The quicker drivers are sometimes very aggressive on the tyres, and that means with the tyre wear on, maybe there's the possibility that they overheat the tyres, or they don't take into account for the fact that the car is maybe that little bit different, because obviously qualifying can very much just become a process of repetition. So yeah, I like the fact that tyre wear has been turned on for these races. It mixes things up a little bit, particularly in race A where you've got the grid start. Race B definitely needs that grid start implemented as well, but yeah, nice little feature, very happy to see it being implemented. Moving on to feature number 2 that I love about Gran Turismo 7, and that is the fact that you can take all the road cars in the game. And I'm not a fan of road cars at all, and I certainly would have no intention of using them, but Gran Turismo 7 does allow you to take a road car and basically turn it into a race car. So we've got a Porsche Carrera GT from 2004 here. We've whacked a wide body on it. We're putting some aero parts on it now. We've put little details like tow hooks on it as well. There we've got some side skirts, we've got the front splitter in. We give it a nicer set of wheels, make sure they've got wide bodies, I guess, to fit with the wide body of the car. And yeah, you can very much transform a boring old road car into a race car. And of course, no race car would be complete without a race livery as well. The livery editor, I believe, is every bit as good in Gran Turismo 7 as GT Sport. Some of the things that people come up with are absolutely fantastic. And I think it's hard to argue that this Porsche Carrera GT now looks significantly better than the stock version. If you think differently, I think you need help. Sticking with the livery editor, a feature that I absolutely love about Gran Turismo 7, and again you couldn't do this in GT Sport, is you can go and look at the liveries that are on show, the hard work that people put into the game, take it into the custom shop or the GT Auto, and you can actually make some amendments to that livery. Now for a player like myself who plays within cockpit view, one thing that very often bothers me in many cars is the fact that the windshield banner, I feel, restricts my view. Gran Turismo 7 doesn't have any FOV settings, so I'm always looking to get as much visibility from the cockpit view as I possibly can. So yeah, Gran Turismo 7 allows me to remove that from other people's liveries and then just save it as my own. You can do some other minor adjustments. I always like to put Michelin tyre stickers on for some reason. You can change the light covers, you can put on a number, and if you really want to get fancy and kind of make some further adjustments, you can head into the paint shop and start messing about with things there. I don't really know what I'm doing in the livery editor, to be perfectly honest with you, but yeah, you can change things like I've changed the wing mirrors there, I can change the rear wing, I can change the wheel rim, the wheel hubs, so the alloy, that's the word I'm looking for. You can change the colour of the alloys. Yeah, just all these little amendments. I think you can go even further than that. You can move in to start changing paints and even decals if you really want to. But yeah, I've kind of taken this beautiful retro camo livery for my Ford GT, give it a few little amendments to suit my needs, and yeah, brilliant feature of Gran Turismo 7. So glad they have brought that one in. Feature number 4 that I love, and this is a big one, and that is the changes to the Slipstream in Gran Turismo 7 compared to GT Sport. Now, the Slipstream in GT Sport was a huge bugbear for me, I felt it caused a lot of unnecessary problems, and I felt that there was far too many situations. For example, in GT Sport, this situation here, this close to the car in front, coming down the Conrod straight down towards the chase, this was pretty much an inevitable overtake, or at the very least the car in front would have to defend their life to keep that position. In Gran Turismo 7, the slipstream has been dramatically reduced in strength and has several nuances, like being affected by the wind direction. It's just much more refined, and actually means that the car in front is just not a victim in certain situations. And another change to the slipstream that I'm very glad to see, baffles me that it took them quite so long to do it. They never ever brought this in for Gran Turismo Sport, but in GTWS races, which are now the FIA races, they have disabled the slipstream in qualifying. One of the big reasons I stopped doing FIA and GT Sport was the fact that qualifying became very slipstream orientated. I was bad enough at qualifying as it was. I was even worse at slipstream qualifying. Huge change to the GTWS, very glad they have brought that one in indeed. And the final feature that I absolutely love about Gran Turismo 7 is some of the changes they have made to the custom races. So for example, you can now set up custom grids using cars from your garage. I'm setting up a Group C race here, just using the 4 Group C cars that I've got. Obviously the cars then go in with the liveries that I've put on them as well, and it just makes shots like this look much more authentic. You can set the races up with BOP on as well. Again, a small feature that you couldn't do in Gran Turismo Sport, so that means when you turn BOP on, your car's BOP'd, as are the AI cars. And I always use the custom races to practice for the daily races, for doing the strategy guides, and also for practicing for GTWS. I do still believe it is the best way to practice. The physics within the custom race with BOP on are identical to the online physics, but you're in control. You can test different cars, you can restart as many times as you want, you can see how your fuel's looking, you can see how the tyre wear's looking without your race being affected by other drivers. I do thoroughly recommend using the custom race feature within Gran Turismo 7 to practice for daily races and GTWS. It is a super useful tool, and as I said, I have done hundreds of times of testing, laps of testing, races of testing over the years on GT Sport and now in Gran Turismo 7, and can 100% assure you that the physics and the way your car performs is identical in a custom race as it is on an online lobby. But yeah, that's 5 features about Gran Turismo 7 I absolutely love. I wish there was more that I could find, but as I said, I want to keep this video positive, so I'm not going to sort of finish on a negative note, but you know what I'm trying to say. Gran Turismo 7 does have its problems. I hope many of them will get fixed, but the fact that these little features have come into the game over and above GT Sport does mean I remain a little bit hopeful that the game will finally get there. But yeah, if you've enjoyed the video, please hit that like button, please hit that subscribe button. Maybe you didn't know about some of these features in the game. If not, I think that deserves a like. Thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you on the next one, folks. Goodbye now.